gamers, it's Nightwing here, the Wii Live Game Reviewer, bringing you yet another virtual console review. This time we have Contra II, or Super C, story for this game. Now, the story takes place a year after the events of the original Contra. You have received a disturbing stress call from General Hal in South America, who's like basically your military commander. Anyway, you arrive at the base only to find it in ruins, and that the alien creatures you fought have somehow survived and mutated into human forms. So it's up to Billy and Lance to kill all their colleagues and stop the alien menace once again. Concept for this game. Since defeating the Red Falcon, you think you guys would be subject to a little R&R. Well, not in Super C. In fact, you have to save the Earth yet again from an unyielding supply of aliens that face you in over 8 missions. As ridiculous as it sounds, it's actually pretty fun. But the overall point, concept, or mission of the entire game is to fight aliens. Controls for this game. Now, the way Super C controls is really no different than its predecessor. In order to move your character, simply use the command cross in any direction. Jump is simply done by pressing A. To crouch, just push down on the command cross. And to shoot your weapon, just tap the B button. Now, when you collect other weapons and stuff like that, such as the machine gun, you can actually hold the button in to shoot longer bursts of ammunition. The gameplay for this game is actually very tight and very fluent, meaning that if you screw up and die or you smack into something, it's entirely your own fault. You have complete free roam of your character, so you don't need to worry about any glitches being your downfall. So the game is really great in that area. A lot of things are different in Super C 2, which I'll get into the design about that game. But there are some weapons that have come back from other Contra games that have received an upgrade. One such weapon in a few minutes will be the Flamethrower, or also known as the bomb gun. Now, the Flamethrower in Super C is much better than in Contra, whereas in Contra it was kind of like this little stream that really didn't do that much damage. Also, the laser is a little bit more powerful in this game too, but my favorite gun is by far the spread gun. And the spread gun is always my favorite gun in every Contra game. It's just so cool, and it makes playing this game so much easier. It's just such an awesome gun, but I'll get into more of the details of the spread gun later. But here you can just see the spread gun in action. Jumping is going to be a very important thing that you're going to need to learn to master in this game, mainly because of the way the game's designed. Moving on to the design. Alright, while the original Contra had 2 versions of gameplay, such as the beginning 2D side-scrolling level, and of course the Presidio 3D view for when you go inside certain missions in the original Contra. However, Super Contra replaces the Presidio 3D stages with new design stages. First off, let me just say that I actually like the design for the game. I think the stages are really, really great. I like the whole gray, destroyed, ruined aspect, and I also like the jungle themes. But what's different about Super C than its predecessor is Super C has introduced inclined stages. Now, you're probably wondering what an inclined stage is. I'm actually showing you an example right now where the stages are kind of inclined, where they have like these angles for you to climb. And Super C used the inclined stages in just about every element of its design, which made the game much harder, and it just really added to the whole new feel of the Contra series. As I said before, this wasn't done in any other Contra. The Presidio 3D stages of Contra and Super C were replaced with top-down views, which were used in a lot of Contra games after this. One example would be Contra III for the Super Nintendo. Another stage that I really, really liked had to be the collapsing ceiling in history for this game. Contra first got its start in the arcades in 1987, and was highly influenced by The Predator starring Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Put that cookie down! Now!
The other star was James Rambo.
No!
The Europe version of the game actually changed the heroes to robots, which was a dismay to many Contra fans. Super C is the actual sequel to Contra, also known as Contra II. The game was called something else in Europe, and again they were robots. The Konami code was actually removed from this game, but would later reappear in Contra III: The Alien Wars, which is a godsend. Contra Hard Ops is considered the best Contra ever made, and it saw a slur of sequels even onto the PS2. Contra 4 actually returns the series true to form of the original, and has both Contra and Super C as unlockable. Super C is available on the Virtual Console. That aspect about this game. Now, many rabid Contra fans, such as myself, are actually mad at Konami for the removal of the 3D levels and the inclusion of the lame top-down view that Super C gave us. But I have something else I really hate about this game. No, it's just not the relentless amount of enemies that come at you. That's too easy to complain about. No, I hate your basic gun. Why? Well, for starters, you only get 4 shots with it, and it's not that powerful. So you're going to have a lot of unnecessary deaths that you wouldn't have with, I don't know, the spread gun, the flamethrower gun, or even the machine gun is a lot better than your basic gun. Another thing I hated about this game is the running enemies. They're in just about every Contra game, and they really don't serve any purpose. In fact, why are they even running at you? You have a gun aimed right at them. Now, I use common sense, and I wouldn't charge somebody point blank who has a gun at me. But that's just me. Again, you can see my hatred for the basic gun. So many unnecessary deaths that when I have my spread gun, I don't die that much. Alright, time for the good aspect about this. One thing that I myself really like about the Contra games is the fact that it has 2-player co-op. Now, just like in the original Contra, what a lot of reviewers and game commentary people don't understand is that when you add a second player to the mix, the game is going to become much more difficult. Now, that's just common sense because there's more enemies and stuff going on, so yeah, it is going to become harder. So please pick your partners wisely. It could mean the meaning of life or death for you guys. Another thing that I really loved about this game is the spread gun. Now, in the hands of a skilled gamer, this gun is a very important tool for victory. It shoots in every direction, it's wicked strong, and it's my favorite gun in just about any game series. Another thing I loved about this game is the fact that you can duck when you're in the water. It also means life or death for you because you can evade enemies. You can also evade bullets. So just duck and you'll be okay. I also really love this level that you're seeing right here. A lot of game reviewers just really stink at it and they don't understand the principle of this level. It's a running and gunning level, meaning that you have to keep running and gunning. That's basically all you do, because if you stop to fight those red, like, Metroid things, you're going to die every time. I'm not going to lie to you. Now, what I'm also not going to lie about is Contra and Super C are some of the hardest games ever made. In fact, IGN said the original Contra is the hardest game ever developed. But for a skilled hardcore gamer, this game is an absolute joy. It's a fun, replayable game. I strongly recommend it. It's a 7 out of 10. Now, 1080 Avalanche is actually my next game I'll be reviewing. Even though 1080 snowboarding is on the Virtual Console, Nintendo didn't collaborate with myself or Wii Live. It just kind of appeared, and I didn't have time to do it since this game was already in the midst of being reviewed anyway. Well, that's it for me, gamers. God bless, and happy gaming.